But a name that keeps coming up in the chat that I wanted to get your thoughts on, man, and shout out to, I think it's Kane McDaniel that brought him up right here, Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon, the running back out of Ohio State. Now, we know earlier this week, the Steelers, in terms of Mike Tomlin, Kevin Colbert, passed on going to Alabama's pro day to see Najee Harris work out, and they went out to Ohio State where Trey Sermon was working out. Now, a lot was put into that because they were asking, well, man, if you got a chance to see, Najee, why wouldn't you go down there and see him? Why would you choose to see Trey Sermon instead of him? But my thing is, if he's available, say in the second or third round, which he more than likely will be, he's not
maybe
viewed as
fourth.
Yeah, seriously, maybe even fourth. Like, he's a guy that I would love to bring in. Like, if we're gonna go the way I'm thinking in terms of linebacker 1,
Sure.
O-line 2, man, if Trey Sermon is there,
The running backs are deep.
Absolutely, I would love to do that.
I'm good with that. Yeah.
And he showed a lot of flash and promise at the end of the season last year for Ohio State. The problem with him was people didn't get a chance to see him against the best of the best. The game against Alabama in the national championship, he gets hurt the first play of the game. So the mystique, the mystery of, can he be dominant against that team? Because that's, NFL 1 AA right there, in terms of what Bama brings to the table. We all wanted to see him against that team, and unfortunately, one snap in, he gets hurt. So you still have those questions around him, but he's still going to be a high pedigree guy coming from that Ohio State program. And when you think about the history of Ohio State running backs, they've typically had some success, at the NFL level. So I would like to see, if we're not going to go running back at 24 or in that first round period, if Trey Sermon is available, I would like him there as well. But that's the luxury that you have when you bring in a guy like Kalen Ballage. If you went out and spent a little bit more money on a higher pedigree guy right now, it's a different conversation, I think, as it pertains to the draft. Because you're like, well, we're double dipping right here when we got other needs that need to be addressed.
Yeah, that's fair. We talked about this before, too, whenever we were discussing some of the running backs, probably like a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
This running back class is pretty deep.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, you bring up Trey Sermon. One of the guys that I really like is Kylan Hill.
Yeah.
So if we don't draft a running back in one of those first 2 rounds, I'm good with waiting because now all of a sudden it feels like as this offseason has gone, our needs have increased a little bit.
Yeah.
So if we can get one of these dudes who knows, man, especially with these running backs, you see it all the time. Arian Foster, he was undrafted.
Yeah.
You see dudes that they just come on, they get the opportunity and could be awesome in the NFL. It's just that type of position. And I still see talent late in the draft with these running backs. So I'm completely good with that. No matter if it's Trey Sermon, Kylan Hill, whoever else, Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah.
There's a few guys like late in the draft.
Chuba's interesting because he was all world coming into this season, but then obviously the fumbles and things like that really put a damper on his year, and then he kind of had that abrupt, all right, I'm just gonna opt out and wait until next season. Like, you saw how that kind of played out, and it just left a bad taste in some people's mouth. But if you asked this dude a year ago, if we asked how we felt about Chuba Hubbard a year ago, we're singing a totally different tune to him. But you're right.
Yeah, they had him in the top 3.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
If you look back on people whenever they were talking in 2019 about this running back draft class, they had Chuba Hubbard up there with Harris, with Etienne.
Absolutely, man. So you can just see, like I said, this is a deep draft in terms of having that running back available to you. And that's what you're going to need because we know we need a running back right now. But to have that flexibility is key, especially right now, man, in one of those type of years.